Tonight, a woman with incredible lesions all on one side of her body. We get an update from a pair of sisters who deal with incredible amounts of pain, and a San Diego native who hasn't seen a cardiologist in over 15 years. We're talking about all that on this edition of the Chasing the Cure After Show and AfterBuzz TV.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Yeah, how's everyone doing out there? Being well? I hope you guys are. Are you? You're living large. Give it up. It's your boy Flobo Boyce. So glad that we're having you guys in your live and second screens and listening on iTunes, Spotify, and all of that. Chasing the Cure, the After Show, episode 8. Being joined by my very, very animated co-host, Sierra Stafford. How's it doing?
Hi, guys. I'm just feeling great and happy and healthy and just ready to share it with you guys.
How's your week, by the way? You been getting into crazy stuff, getting centered?
Goodness. Just work. Same old, same old. Yeah. I started back school.
Okay.
So that's that. 2 snaps and clap. Marketing, you were talking about marketing earlier.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to get my master's in marketing right now. But
that's what's up. Fantastic.
That's about it. What about you?
I did school a long time ago because I'm an old guy. But I started a new diet, so I'm trying to get back in running and doing the weightlifting and all that stuff. So,
are you telling the truth for the people?
I am. I do eat cake still. I haven't get the diet down yet, but I still go to the gym.
There you go. I knew there was something to it.
Chasing the Cure, we're week 8 into the festivities here, and I know there always seem to be tweaking more and more things about that. Before we even get into overall thoughts, I'm excited for this episode in particular because there's some brand new health facts and another edition of Tools for the Cure. But 8 episodes in, we're seeing a little bit less play with the call center room. We're not seeing that as much. We're getting more of the Twitter wall when it comes to interacting with cases. Talk about today's episode overall.
When you talk about what just happened, like with the room situation?
Yeah, I think that is more of like the picnic in front of like the Twitter wall and like only one scene of them in the call center like war room where it's like, this is the new case. Yeah.
See, remember, I actually like that because I said I feel like in this show we get a lot of different answers. You know, one minute they say this and they say this. The doctor's in their room, then you get the call center, they're saying something, then you get call people in. It's just a lot.
Yeah.
So I actually liked it.
Right.
It gives us less confusion, or at least for me, it's less confusing.
Okay. I mean, I just thought it was interesting that they didn't sit on a format and go, we're just going to ride with this and make it happen. I think Ann Curry says a lot of the same things week to week, but the actual camera angles and like the scenes they actually use do change, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean, gotta spice it up every now and again, but I do feel like there's a lot of changes in the show, though. It doesn't stay the same.
I know we're jumping ahead of predictions, but you still think a season 2 is possible, despite all that? Or do you think that it may be like a one and done type deal?
I feel like we have to see how the last episode ends, but honestly, since this show, I feel like are getting a lot of answers for people, it might, keep a good rep up for them. So, of course, people watching might want to come on. And we always get testimonials from other people that have similar issues. So, I mean, even though those people already know what they have, I mean, it still opens that shows that people actually watch. So,
other
people can be at home like, I'm coming next season or,
Yeah, you can't knock that. Our first case was actually teased last week. Miss Likitha, at age 42, had skin growths on one side of her body, has dealt with it with the majority of her life. Texas native, Texas in the house. Before we get into the nitty gritty of her actual case and her prognosis, just overall thoughts about her struggles with this disease or condition.
Yeah. So we talked a little bit about her last week as well. So you remember I was like big on my girl, being able to wear her ring. And she also mentioned how, she's a teacher. She teach elementary students and they're scared of her. And I love little kids because it's kind of like, that's kind of sad and heartbreaking. So, but luckily for her, they actually got an answer very fast. So I was really happy about that. And I want to say Dr. Wendy Roberts. Now she's a doctor, a dermatologist that we've seen like throughout this entire season. So I want to just shout out to her because she's killing it. Like, she come and just solve all the cases. Like, and I'm like, dang, Dr. Wendy.
I actually wrote that on my notes. I said, Dr. Dr.
Dr. Roberts. You don't think of my last name.
I actually have that in my notes. Dr. Roberts coming through in the clutch. She's got the best win-loss record.
No, seriously, where you go, sis? Because I don't even got problems. I just want to come just to.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny to me because like if you have a condition for so long, I guess there'd be a certain kind of person that would say, this is it. This is table stakes. It ain't gonna change. Whatever. I guess it takes someone saying, hey, look, no, I got to find out what's wrong with me. Mm-hmm. And shout out to Likitha for doing that. Diagnosed, I want to get this absolutely right. Linear epidermal nevus, not the non-cancerous version.
Yep.
Which means that essentially the lesions are basically on top of the freeway of like blood vessels on the side of her body. That's why it appears on one side of her body. It's genetic, but not contagious. So shout out to that, to not having like a cancerous condition. She was very concerned about that, especially with her line of work.
And it won't travel to, her kids, anything like that. He actually, one of the doctors on the show actually said it's like a birthmark, her birthmark, that she has on her. So
yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting how they were able to distill it and make it accessible for us. At least I'm a lay person. My mom's a nurse, but that's as far as medical knowledge as I have. But sometimes I think there's some scenes where they just go over the top with their terminology. I'm like, I believe you guys, but make it make sense. So saying it's a birthmark, it's like, okay, I get it. So
it's kind of dumb it down for us,
Exactly.
Dumb it down for
My
the
degree's
people.
not in medicine. So.
Exactly. Listen, I don't know. I only know what the doctor tells me when I go.
Yeah, sure. Let's talk about our path forward. A complete genetic test, oral retinoids, and laser treatments. Just for reference, retinoids, class of chemical compounds, basically around vitamin A, so help out with the skin quality. Just your thoughts on that, being sure, like, hey, look, you may think she might somehow be able to wear the ring on her hand now. Do you think she's on the path to that? Or are we talking that's more of a long-term thing?
Ooh, good question. I feel like it go both ways. I feel like we won't know, honestly, until next episode when we see a little bit more. But I do feel like it is going to get to that point to where she can, wear her ring. She's comfortable. The kids are comfortable with her. And, I mean, she started crying. She was very emotional, so I know she's ready for this breakthrough. So, and what the doctors told her, it was all positive. So I feel like maybe soon. Then now that I think about what they were saying, maybe sooner than we think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure she wasn't crying because Anne kept touching her hands?
Listen, I mentioned that when we were talking. I was like, why does Anne keep touching her hand?
Yeah, I guess she wanted to prove that she was cool with it, but she was kind of doing it extra.
And too much. And you're touching her condition. I don't know. And just do some off stuff.
I'm just like, I get why she did it, but I felt like you were, what is it called, virtue signaling?
Doing too much.
I am being down with the masses. So.
I'm here for you.
Yeah, exactly. I'm here for you. Before we move on to our next case, Sierra, can you tell us how you listen to this AfterBuzz show and other AfterBuzz shows?
Yeah, so we're here for you guys, of course, as well. So we want to say thank you for always tuning in with us every week, and not just to our after show, but all the after shows on AfterBuzz and Black Hollywood Live and Popcorn Talk, the whole nine. But just make sure you always go watch our videos. But not only that, we're also on iTunes, so give us those 5-star ratings. We will appreciate that. And of course, we're on Spotify now, so go listen. In your radios, we got you. But of course, come to our YouTube channel, leave your comments when you watch our shows, and just engage with us, and we love it. Okay, so thank you.
Yeah, I actually read all the comments on iTunes for all the podcast reviews. Depending on the show I am, it's either really awesome or really like, oh man, I got some work to do. But it's really cool that everyone's honest with their 5-star rating. So shout out to those people who write comments on iTunes. We get an update from Monique and Tori, which I remember when they were showed on screen, you were like, oh yeah, I forgot about these two. Walk me through this couple and what their problem was and how they kind of went off a couple weeks, came back.
The couple, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, they're sisters.
A couple of sisters.
The couple of sisters. Yeah, well, real quick, I want to say, this part of the show kind of makes it confusing because, like I said, we get introduced to people, we saw them, the first, second, third
Pretty
episode.
early in the season, yeah.
And now we're, at episode 8, so it's kind of like, oh, I forgot,
Right.
So I do want to just say I wish they would, diagnose people sooner. I don't know if it's set up this way. Maybe it takes time. I'm not sure. But I wish they would just fix everyone as soon as they show us to them, because I feel like, But as far as their situation, Tori and Monique's, so that, they had the swelling in their legs, and so they do have hereditary angioedema. So I mean, they're getting. It's good they have it cured now. I'm happy for them as well because they've been going through this since they were little girls, and they're now grown now. So it's good to see that they finally have a cure and they can get their life back, because I mean, having swelling in the legs and pain, that can be hindering. So
absolutely. But you raised a good point earlier in what you're saying. Would you sacrifice the show being live if you're able to get the entire diagnosis story on an episode contained? Or would you rather have the way they have now, where it's it's live every week, but if there's an update, we'll bring them back, or not?
Well, no. I like the fact that it's live and then they update us, but they update us 3 weeks later. And that's what I'm saying. Maybe it could be 2 episodes past, then show them, not 4 episodes.
Right, yeah. It kind of makes
5
you go
episodes. It's like, oh crap, I forgot.
It's funny because or interesting or peculiar that of all the cases we saw, I'm still on Rory. I talk about her every week. Case number 1, week number 1.
See, look, I forgot about Miss Rory.
Because there were people auditioning to be her voice for AI. So I want to know who won. I want to know who get
And we
applied.
still haven't got a...
I don't know if that's happening or not.
Wow.
So that's why I'm waiting on them.
See, you said you just made my point.
Yeah, I actually did. But yeah, Monique and Tori looks like they're actually on a path. They actually met someone by the name of Rhett who actually lived in their same neighborhood, and their kids know each other. What are the odds of that?
Small world.
Small world indeed. And I guess that's where a show like this kind of comes in handy. We said it before, having people come up forward and say, I'm suffering what you're suffering. Well, let's connect and stuff like that.
And also, she actually said that. She was like, I feel like, we actually bring a community together too. And I feel like, of course, we've seen a lot of people come and do shout outs, relate to people. So definitely, that's why I say I feel like it could be a season 2 because it does get a lot of feedback and involvement and engagement. So
yeah, that's always great to hear. Moving on, the next case of the evening was Kelly, 58 years old, but first suffered this condition 25 years ago. She had incredible chest pain that seems to radiate through her esophagus and her jaw. It looks like it comes and goes. She had no rhyme or reason for it. I can only imagine that because I know one time I had a contusion, which means a physical thing hit my breastbone. And for days I was sore when I breathed in. I was like, am I having a heart attack? No, it's in my head. Stop playing. But here's someone actually having pain, chest pain, where everyone tells you how serious that is, on and on for 25 years.
And then it spread. She said it went to her neck, and then she got abdominal pain. She started having fatigue. So I feel like that's even scary when you have anything and it starts to spread because it's like, okay, I'm not tripping, or this is not something I can just go to the store and buy some medicine for,
Right.
But one thing I found interesting with her story is she was actually taking niglycerin, type of medicine, and she actually had to stop taking it because of some of the side effects it was causing her. So they actually recommended her trying new medication. So I feel like this is the first person that they actually said stop doing what you're doing, if they're doing anything at that,
That's a good point. I'm glad you brought it up because if you're in this weird situation where you don't have a diagnosis, it's something that's helping you out, and then you have doctors saying you got to stop doing this, but you're like, well,
I'm doing this for.
I feel okay. I got headaches, but it's all right. The debate between the side effects and what it's using for is very interesting to me. What is the threshold for someone to be like, no, this works for me. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, versus being like, all right, cold turkey, I'm out.
I mean, I think. Because, okay, when I was watching Ann and her on the Kelly on the couch, Ann was basically saying, you're going to have to stop taking your niglycerin. How is that, And I feel like she was kind of uneasy. If you just look at Kelly's position, she's probably like, oh, goodness, I have to stop. But I think she was down with saying, okay, I'm here to do whatever it takes, so I'll stop taking it. But like we said, it's kind of strange that you've been taking this for long and somebody says stop. And it's like... So that's kind of so have this affected me even more than I even know, that's the scary part.
There's a coping mechanism part of it.
Yeah, so hopefully that didn't trigger anything further,
That is kind of an ethical debate. If it's something provides you relief, but it's not the right drug, do you still proceed with it? Yeah. Before she got her actual diagnosis, there was a cause there that she may have Meniere's disease, which is a disease of the inner ear that causes dizzy spells and vertigo and hearing loss. Even though it wasn't quite the right diagnosis, again, it goes back to talking to different medical professionals over time, how you can get an array of different diagnoses or whatnot. So shout out to Dr. Americo Simonini, who ran a full cardio workup and test and said that, hey, look, most of the stuff is negative. You're A-okay, you're healthy, which is amazing, but she does have some blood flow issues. And I try to figure out one of the actual things she was diagnosed with here. I don't think she has a full-on diagnosis, but there's a bit of a myocarditis there as well about her condition, which is lowered blood flow to the heart, which can complicate things. Yeah. Now, thoughts about Kelly? I think we're going to see her again. I mean, do you think they're going to find an actual stamp of what is wrong, or do you think that is kind of one of the one and dones here?
Oh, well, no, I wouldn't say one and done. Yeah. No, that's mean. But I do feel like her case, like I said, it's going to be very different. I feel like it may take them a little more time. I mean, you never know, but I still had questions, honestly, regarding her case. So I feel like we got a lot, but there's still some gaps missing.
Yeah, for
sure.
So
I think we'll hear more.
Yeah, I mean, they don't really touch upon this for this show in general, but I always think there's always a psychosomatic element to things where people are suffering from things and other doctors may say it's all in your head. It's not in your head. So it's good to have, like, the Dr. Semenini saying, no, we did the workup, you're normal, but we still think that you're not 100%. So that way you're not saying, okay, you just made up in your head. Don't worry about it. We'll get back to you. Which is always
or at least you know you're halfway okay.
Yeah, you're right. You're gonna be
straight.
You're gonna be okay.
You got it, Kelly.
Moving on. You got a super quick update about Alex, the young man that was diagnosed with AMPS a couple weeks ago, and people are coming out in droves saying, hey, look, I have AMPS. It gets better. Therapy is hard, but it's treatable. We talked about people coming before on the show before, but why do I feel people came out a little bit more spirited this time against Alex? I feel like a lot of younger people had a lot more things to say.
And we actually got more, actually. Usually, like, it's only one person that has something similar. We got 3 girls that all had it. They're all look great, in good condition. One girl said, she's actually 100% better. So I was like, okay, positivity. Yeah. So maybe that's what
Shout
it was. Like, everyone that said something gave Alex hope. I'm sure if he saw it, like, we don't know if he saw it or not, but I'm sure he did, and he's like, I have hope.
Yeah.
And so I think that's probably what made it more, like, spiritual, like you said, more energetic, because they all said, like, basically gave him good tips, like, find something you enjoy doing and take your mind off of it. I'm 100% better. Oh yeah, therapy, go to therapy, just literally telling him how to deal with it.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that's helpful, and I feel like that's what every patient probably wants to hear, honestly, even though everyone hasn't heard that. But
right.
I think that's what made his different, though. To answer your question,
when you're on the healthy side, you're thinking, man, what's the point of saying a phone call or going to the hospital or mailing a bouquet of flowers? But if you're on the other side, you're like, wow, this is the world of me. I'm stuck in this room, or I'm stuck in this feeling of pain. Hey, some random strangers say, I believe in you. You can do better. It's like snaps to that.
Exactly.
2 snaps in the clap.
And it's legit, because they said they had it. So
yeah. And that's
it makes it feel more comforting.
Yeah, you're part of an army or a celebration. Yeah. So one of our updates today was not so much a case, but definitely was a contained story about Carly, who was suffering from stone man disease. It turns out she had a fall one time, and her bones are hardening as the time goes on, as she speaks. I'm going to see her actual case is fibrodysplasia ossificans. Ossificans?
Okay. Ossificans.
Ossificans progressiva, so FOP. Which affects 1 out of 2 million people, and her body is literally turning into quote unquote stone or bone. Yeah. Being so, she's seems well just enough. She has a boyfriend. She's moving out with him. She has her whole life, or whatever. But it definitely affected her life. Just walk me through that. You can imagine being so young and spry, and then something happened to you like that, and then affecting your body.
Yeah. So it actually started very young. She was 5 years old. Like you said, her family, they went to the lake. She tried to jump off a stool or something, and she hit her back. And next thing you know, she has this FOP. So of course they referred to as stone man disease. So, and she actually can't move her back or her jaw. So she's kind of like numb in the place on our body we all need the most, basically, on a daily access. But I want to say her spirit was not what I thought it would be. She was laughing.
Sure.
She was making humor of her own condition. So I was like, okay, she's trying to make the best of it, because, that's kind of hard. I can't imagine just being, just there. You can't do nothing. So her condition, I feel like, is going to be a very tough one. I want to know how, it's going to be like, because it's like, can you totally revamp her whole body, can you, I want to know, is there something to be fixed? So this is going to be very different, but it did make me happy that she has a boyfriend. They just moved in recently together, so it lets me know that he's very aware of everything she has going on. Yeah. And he treats her well, and he's there for her. So, and it seems like it's fresh, so that's what I'm saying. That's really dope that he's there for her.
It is interesting that of the majority of the cases, she's the one that's up for more humor or being more levity about things. Like, I do stand-up comedy, and I can tell you a lot of that comes from the pain, right? You can do why did the chicken cross the road, but no one laughs at that. But the good jokes are all about this is something that's serious, and this is how we do it. So even though she was like, yeah, man, I'm another skeleton, it's called stone man disease, it should be bones man disease, waka waka. I thought it was pretty cool that she found some time to put some levity to her situation.
I wanted to laugh, but I was like, no.
Is it okay if I laugh?
I don't know.
I was like, okay, you can laugh first.
I think it's only okay when she says it.
yeah. It's always awkward, but hey, if that helps her get through the day, that's all
exactly.
All
I love to see it.
Stay up, Carly.
Yeah, stay up, Carly.
Next week we get a tease of Jennifer's case. Jennifer's case about the young lady getting a tattoo and then having a bunch of lesions. Walk me through that one.
Yeah, hers was pretty quick actually. But she has a lot of kids or sons, and she just felt like, and like we hear this a lot with certain people. I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable going out. I feel ashamed of myself, and I feel like for anyone that has that issue, that's kind of like sad because think about it. You go out every day. You go to work, go work out, have fun, anything you do, and you're scared to see for people to look at you,
right?
And people are around us at all times. So that's really sad to me to see, and then you have to force yourself to wear a certain type of clothing. So I really do hope that she can get her normal life back. I feel like we had, like I said, a lot of similar cases with skin and things of that nature. So I do have hope for her situation. She does have dermafibromas. So I feel we have hope for Jennifer for sure.
Yeah, that's a very psychological element here because it isn't like, she got it randomly or she was at work and she fell down or whatever. She had an inciting incident. She decided to get a tattoo. And that seems to be a proposed link between her incident of getting the tattoo and her skin lesions. Now,
That's scary.
That's what I'm saying. I can imagine, and it must be extra painful having people judge you saying you're doing something voluntarily and that caused that, what it might be. So I can understand why she wants to cover up, but you can tell it's kind of weighing on her heavy because there has to be some part of you going back to being like, why did I do that thing that was voluntary? Not necessarily condemning tattoos. I have tattoos myself.
And I want one.
And I'm just, they're dope. But I'm just saying the idea of her saying, I'm going to do this and then look what happened,
Well, yeah. And it's sad because it's like, you don't expect to get that though. That's what I'm saying. So it's kind of like don't blame yourself because that's not the result you normally hear from getting a tattoo. So
yeah, for sure. And I hope most of the cases get cures for sure. But I hope that there's a easier cure for Jennifer, or I should say, I hope the next time we see her, she has an actual diagnosis.
Or diagnosis, yeah.
So now it's time for our news segment. Sierra Stafford, tell me something that's informative and entertaining.
Okay, guys. So, I have to always come bring you the healthy facts to bless your life. So, I'm going to pull it up here. Okay. So, we're back to our bodies today, but as we all know, water is very important in our lives. It makes up 70% of our body. If you didn't know, I just told you. But we're just going to talk about the healthy tips and why it's important to drink a lot of water. So, as you know, drinking water is advantageous in every way. It assists metabolism and digestion, prevents constipation and accumulation of waste products in the body, keeps away diseases, and helps in keeping the skin clear of acne and pimples. So, we probably already know a lot of these things. Obviously, like, drinking water helps your skin taste clear. Didn't know about the constipation part. but it does assist with metabolism and digestion. Fun fact, if you do go out to eat, do not drink water. Well, if they say if you drink water before, it makes you fill up faster.
Yeah.
So just wait, guys. Drink it afterwards.
Oh, okay. So if you're going to go all-you-can-eat buffet, you want the most room as possible. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, just fill it up. But
okay.
But it does says it. It does assist with the digestion, so that's why I said just wait. Drink it afterwards.
Shout out to water. Yeah, I'm gonna keep putting this over. I love the fact that at AfterBuzz Studios there's water in the fridge. I make sure I come in early just to have a cup of water. We
got sparkling water, regular water,
man.
tap water.
Yeah. With VIPs, we're talent, I tell you.
But I personally, water is my favorite drink. So guys, and it definitely
your favorite drink of all time is water.
It sounds crazy, but it really is.
Wow.
I drink a lot of water.
Are you like a spring person or drinking water, distill, artesian?
It has the pH level. Core. Look, should I get a sponsorship?
I don't say you name a brand now. Yeah.
No, Core, holla at me because I'll always shout out you guys. I was on the Core way before people even knew about Core water.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
you're
Core.
You're a water hipster.
I'm a water hipster. Core, Life Water, Essentia. Get with it, guys.
Okay.
Get your water.
It's pH balances.
pH balance. Get it up. 7 and up.
I don't know what just happened. Yeah, thank you so much for today's news segment. But now it's time for our special segment of the evening. It's now time for Tools for the Cure. The cure means it doesn't do that. I don't know why it's that simple.
I'm like, I don't know.
Sorry about that, guys.
We're talking about.
I was like, is it a run out? Do we need to run out? Fire? I was like, wait.
We're talking about tools and techniques that medical professionals are using for the future of cure finding and helping out the masses. CNN's reporting a new scientific review has concluded that artificial intelligence, or AI, may be able to possibly diagnose a disease as successfully as human healthcare professionals. But a lack of quality studies means that the potential for technology is unclear. So what happened was there were a bunch of clinical trials, and they had people that had conditions and people that didn't have conditions, and they had these algorithms suggest and test whether or not they can tell what it was. For those that were free from disease, it was about 93% AI got it right versus 91% over humans, so pretty good. But those suffering from the conditions, about less than 1% were robust enough to be considered a great diagnosis, which means it's a long way to go for artificial intelligence to be used as a diagnosing mechanism, but the potential's there. Now, you can imagine that if you're able to deploy AI to places that are rural or for a diagnostic tool that can actually like make things more efficient for things, right?
This actually makes me scared for the future. We always hear this joke about like, what will cars look like in years? Will robots exist? And and every time I see something with technology, especially regarding to health, it's kind of like these people are smart. They can probably build do anything.
The machines will rise up.
Exactly. So it's kind of like, it's very dope, but it's kind of like, it just shows me that technology is only going to keep expanding. And will we need humans anymore?
We need something to plug in the machines. I don't know why we would get rid of that.
Yeah.
But shout out to artificial intelligence and shout out to having high pH water. Let's get into our predictions real quick. That's your favorite drop.
Now, your AfterBuzz TV.
I mean, you already told us yours, so.
Because it's so, like, are the aliens outside? Did you raid Area 51 last week, like most people?
Wait.
There was a whole Facebook thing where people raided
Area 51?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Did you know that?
No.
Okay, all right, check it out. It was kind of weird.
But I heard about Area 51, but I know people actually went.
They're supposed to raid it, but they just kind of showed up and just hung out because they didn't know what to do. It's a government facility.
So it's real.
Yeah, it's real. It's outside of Rachel, Nevada. It's an actual designated site. It's just that people saw it on the map and they went out there. Besides the point. Predictions.
I was into it. I was like, tell me more. Nevada, that's down the street from us.
They were going to go break in and run through it like Naruto, right? But the idea is people showed up and were kind of like, okay, now what we do. So there were people there hanging out like it was Woodstock or a concert, but they didn't really raid it.
So basically talking all that hot noise, but when they got
Fire
there.
Festival day. Yeah, it was pretty sad.
What a waste of a trip.
Chasing the Cure returns to TV in about 2 weeks with at least 2 more episodes waiting to go. Has there been one case that you think that has not been shown with completion that they're going to bring back? Anyone, like how I'm with Rory? Is there anyone else you're like, man, here's a time we're going to hear more about Quindella or
now you got
Monique?
me thinking because they literally made me forget. That sounds so bad, but they made me forget about other people. But Rory definitely was one. She was like the very first patient we were introduced to. Mm-hmm. Let's think. The guy with the weight loss. Well, no, we got some update on him, but yeah, it's honestly a lot of people. Okay,
Absolutely.
I want to know everyone.
I feel like just because they put him on so many different episodes, I really want, not so much because we have a diagnosis already, but I want Deborah and Delaney's case to actually have another person that's who they had similar symptoms and have a community with another person. So you can show that Chasing the Cure found someone with a condition, gave them an actual diagnosis, they're starting a whole new community, and they've helped find someone else get diagnosed. That'd be the perfect Chasing the Cure through line throughout the series.
Well, that's kind of like what Tori and Monique did.
Yeah.
When they met, Red.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's kind of similar,
Yeah.
finding someone and building a community behind it. Honestly, it would be cool if all the cases could do that, really.
Right.
But my predictions going forward, I do feel like I said, I feel like every patient is going to get some type of answer, whether good or bad. But I do feel like we've been getting a lot of good. I just feel like I don't want to predict this on nobody. I want all good, but I just feel like we're going to get at least one that's
yeah.
Do you think so?
I'm still waiting for that big one. I'm still waiting for that big case to make me go wow.
And now it'll be great if they can just fix everyone because, like I said, they're here because, help them out, their condition. It'll be great because they're here for the purpose of not being able to find help from all these other doctors. So, I mean, of course, I will hope everyone comes here to fulfill the purpose, but it's just like, can you get everybody?
Right.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
You just have that. So I'm just waiting it out.
Yeah, I totally understand.
Yeah.
Thanks to everyone out there in the chat, out there commenting and being a part of the community.
Of course.
Before we get out of here, Sierra Stafford, where can the world find you online?
Yeah, so you can follow me in my healthy. Just kidding. I'm trying to be healthy, guys. But
You drink lots of water, right?
yeah, I drink water. I do drink lots of
rate
water.
Area 51 either.
Eats a lot of salads too. But you can find me on my Instagram at Sierra Stafford TV and on my Twitter at Sierra B Stafford.
Okay, what's your favorite salad?
Oh, just regular. I'm really basic, guys. I just like my lettuce, my cheese,
Yeah.
croutons. I like ranch.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty basic. A chicken, you know.
Okay. Shout out to the Caesar salad loving guy myself. Flobo Boyce at Flobo Boyce on Twitter, at Flobito on Instagram, at Flobito.com. We'll be back here in 2 weeks with Chasing the Cure, the after show. But until then, be well.
Stay healthy for 2 weeks, guys.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.